What I'd like to do today is talk a little bit about being a small business, or thinking like a small business. So when you say something like, we need communications, or we need to get our story in the media, or we need to contact our audience, or we need to communicate with our stakeholders, the first question that I have when somebody says that to me is why? I mean, you've got all kinds of means of communicating. You've got your Facebook page, you've got your website, you've got your newsletter, you've got your Twitter account, you've got your whatever, right? You've got your ability to walk around and talk to other people. Cocktail conversation. I mean, that's a medium of communication. So the first thing I want to know is that when you wake up in the morning as a communications person, what is it that you're trying to accomplish?
I want to thank donors, corporations. I want to thank the community and those that serve us.
It's the communication so that the members feel that they're part of the organization.
Create a family.
Okay, all right. Build community.
Build
community.
Anybody else?
All of those things plus touch people's hearts.
Touch people's hearts. And I think that one of the things that I see happening with most organizations is that they don't do this. You know, they don't go through the array of requirements that they have or objectives, right? So when you got up today, and through the course of the day, it's only 2:30. What was one thing that you heard through the media that left a considerable impression on you?
The NDP are deciding not to have a full leadership review of Carol
And,
James.
okay, and you knew that on Saturday, didn't you?
Moira Stillwell.
Stillwell.
Heard that on the way here, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were talking about her and
The
saying,
famous
"Why
Moira
bother?"
Stillwell, yeah, okay, Moira Stillwell.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. It's
But
one
they
way,
said, "Oh, thankfully
it's
there's
one way
no
to get to top of mind and stay there, is
Oh.
run for the leadership of the Liberal Party. Okay, so what we have here are some very interesting messages that have been communicated, right? First one is 20K per individual, poverty. What's so good about that one? What do we like about that one? It's a really interesting number. And it's easy, and it has a handle attached to it. It's so easy to hold on to, right? I mean, if you can think about that, a number like that for your own organization, a number that defines, intrigues, and stays with you, right? I'll remember that for the rest of the day, right?
I say we send 15,000 volunteers in 50 years. Well, hold on, that's really
Who
not very
cares?
much.
Yeah.
But then if you say, then I multiplied it to get hours, and I got 35 million hours of service, 1 hour for every Canadian. Now, that makes people go, oh.
Little criminal events. It's part of that bromide. If it bleeds, it leads. There's something about a crime in progress, or an accident, or something that puts us in touch with our mortality. Problem is that if you do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, you get desensitized to it. So if you try to sensationalize your message, you have to have the other elements as well. I mean, the impulse to sensationalize message, to shout it out, to put it on the front page, to make it the core of your strategy, sometimes is large, okay? But other times, you have to think about, what is it about that message that we're trying to communicate? And I see that with NGOs all the time. They're constantly sensationalizing their news. They're constantly going on about how if we don't do X by Y, the entire world's going to collapse. And it does not, right? At least it didn't yet, or it hasn't yet. And so you have to be careful about using the nuclear technique. Press the plunger and everything blows up. So it's exactly the same thing as little criminal events. Okay, Moira Stillwell, woman we've never heard of, declares candidacy for Liberal leadership. She's taken advantage of a situation in which there's an opportunity. She's exploited the opportunity in a really powerful and effective way. Bingo, I'm first. Can't take that away from me. It doesn't matter, I was first out of the gate, right? And so now the next follow-up story is how Moira Stillwell's campaigning while the others are still thinking about it, right? It's a lesson for all of us as we sit there and we figure out what communications techniques we're going to employ. Where are the opportunities? I do think that there is some hierarchy of information in any community, and the more effective I am at distributing my message or delivering my message, right, the more likely it is that, that I will influence behavior, right? So people with money know that, and people without money know that. Polls, let's talk about polls for a minute. What is it about polls? Numbers, relevant numbers, right? So let's not forget the magic of a poll, because I mean, it can say amazing things, especially if you got enough imagination to think about what's an amazing thing. So once again, is the opportunity there? Is it relevant? You know, all of those things that have been that we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes. Go into that poll, you've got an instant news story. I guarantee it. It'll work. Well, there are some people that are arguing that Movember is not an effective campaign because you remember the mustache, but you don't remember the prostate cancer. Yeah. Or you remember the controversy about the mustache without even remembering what it's about, right? Like the actual charity gets obscured by the viral chat that goes with Movember.
But somebody who hasn't had a mustache and grows it, all of a sudden it's like,
It's
a big deal.
what's different? All of a sudden it opens up.
What's that on your upper lip?
Yeah.
If you get on the beeline now, you're gonna see like half the men on the beeline have mustaches, and it's good. It's just transcending social barriers.
I think what it boils down to is really it's all the things we're talking about, but it's funny and fun. It's not.
It's fun.
That's it.
Fun. There's a word. I love that word. Fun. Let's talk about it for a minute. I think it's worth talking about all by itself. People are afraid that frivolity will fall flat, right? You know, the more serious your effort, the more focused you are, the more intense you are, the more responsible you are, the better. Okay? I'm not so sure. If you're not having fun, then I suspect that they're not having fun at the other end of the message. Okay? These are alternative entry points. I go to your website has a goat, okay? I click the goat. I learn more after clicking the goat. I mean, I could have had a long dissertation on the website. Hi, we're blah, 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 the organization devoted to development in blah, 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 and we do this, blah, 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 and we do that, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, and it goes on at some length, and I get tired and I go somewhere else. Put a goat button on there, and I'm there like a dirty shirt. Boom, goat button. You know? and so I read about the goat, and then that compels me, or induces me, or intrigues me further to read about the organization. So don't give me the organization first, give me the goat first. But make sure that when I'm ready, I'm there with the text. Has anybody seen this?
I hope it's not from anybody in the room.
We partner, we invest, we inspire, and it's full of uplifting, inspirational photos of people being empowered and happy. I mean, do you actually believe in it? Because there's a whole section here about microfinance, and right now microfinance in India is collapsing the nation, right? I blame people like me, public relations consultants on stuff like this, right? Because we try to be relentlessly positive. We try to not be real.
Would you believe it more if it was a quote from somebody to say, in whatever country they work in, I have been inspired by the work of CCI?
Well, yes, I would.
As opposed to CCI saying, we inspire these people.
Absolutely, because it's a third-party endorsement. And the more credible the third-party endorser, the more I believe it, right? There's a lot of attempt on the part of public relations professionals to try and prevent the truth from being told or getting out there, which is silly because we all find out everything all the time. So right away I get tweets from everybody on this, that, or the other phenomenon. So you have to, we live in this world where information is instantaneous, and so our sorting mechanisms are changing. Our capacity to absorb information is changing. I mean, that's part of the opportunity, I think. But it's also part of the challenge. Thank you.